Welcome along to International Sim Drivers Association winter season, or winter series, should I say, of the first race of 2023. It is in Paul Ricard, and it is dark out there at the minute, and we are into qualifying there with 16 and a half minutes to go. There is a full grid there of 30 drivers out at the minute, which is great to see, and we're very, very excited to see what the guys can do out here tonight. I'm going to try and do an attempt throughout this to give out some of the names of these drivers. Now, don't forget, I'm an English speaker from Ireland. I'm going to get them wrong, but we'll make a laugh out of it and a joke out of it and enjoy it, guys. But this track here as well is a super fast track. It's very, very technical in the first sector and the third sector, and the drivers kind of have a little bit of a break in the middle sector there with that very, very long straight as well, which will be quite interesting to see. Looking on the track at the minute, we are on with the BMW of J. Well, Jack? I'm just going to go with, and I'm definitely getting it wrong, and I do apologize to you. But we make you up a nickname, so in future we'll just have a cool nickname for you. But it's great to see the diversity of cars out there this evening as well. We've got a great mix there. Plenty of Porsches, Mercedes, BMW, Lexus out there as well, Ferrari, Honda, Aston Martin, Audi, the lot. The only thing we're missing, it looks like, is the Nissan, but then again, no one's that boring to drive that car. So with the ISDA, we are expecting some top-tier, top-class racing. These drivers are some of the best in the esports world, regardless of professional or amateur. And it's definitely going to be very, very fun tonight, guys. And you're all very, very welcome along to this stream, and I hope you will enjoy this. So realistically, at the minute, we have a few guys out on track. Well, it's actually getting quite active at the minute there. But we are staying on board with this BMW goes around here. And with Paul Ricard, it's all going to be about tyre management as well in the first and second sector there. We're overheating the fronts a little bit, but they do get that little break in between. But it's also about keeping the brake temperatures up as well. And there we go. Where's up into sixth place there? So the base lap is a 155.082, and he's only 0.452 off. So still plenty of time for progression as the track rubbers in, because as you can see there, it's running fast, but it's not at optimal yet, so there is a small bit more pace to go, and it is only 10 degrees out there, so keeping the tyres up to temperature actually here at the minute might be quite difficult as well. And just so you know, looking at the times there, guys, it looks like the very best lap only has a best sector 1, and he's matched the best sector 1 but in third place Arelvia. I'm not going to get that name right either. So we are on now with the current poles. They are 154.527. That is a phenomenal lap, and that Porsche, ever since the little bop there, has become a little beast again, and there's so many people driving it. It's great to see that out there. With Torregoja, I think it is, in that there. So that's good to see. And Jay Hughes is only 0.123 off. So at the minute, it's great to see the top 7 literally a second covering them as well. So it's very, very tight so far. I'm expecting, with the way the progression of times are going so far, we could be seeing maybe a late 53s by the end of this qualifying, all going well. Such a beautiful looking track there, and you can see, look, we're even to get the tyres warmed up. It just goes to show how hard it is to keep the temps there with these lower conditions out there. The track temperature and air temperature are the same, which is definitely something to be looking at. I have to say, delivery on that Porsche is quite nice looking as well. You can really see him working it there. Straightens up a little bit before he comes to the long right-hander now. It's lovely done. And now he's got a bit of traffic ahead of him. Maybe he might slow down a bit and gap it. Be interesting to see with that one there. He's not at the minute. He's just going to keep it going, going to stay close, and maybe hopefully that driver may move out of the way, but I'd be surprised if that driver is on a very fast lap there. But what looks like an outlap catching up. But he's still holding the fastest time at present. I'm looking there the whole way down now to 8th place. 9th place, 1.1 seconds off. Down to 17th so far. So we still have pretty much half of the grid yet to put in a time. Well, actually, nearly half the grid now. There's 32 cars in. One of them being the safety car. So ISDA, you will see then the safety car will be ran. There is also a live race control as well. So in between, if there is any penalties to be given out or there is any action going on, they will be coming in and giving in their audio to let us know, which is also a great interactive feature. Not many leagues run, and that's why the ISDA are definitely punching above the rest of them at the minute. So on now at Mex, a 154.155 there. These are getting very stonking laps. And to be honest with you, I didn't expect the Evolution to be dropping down this low on times to happen this quickly, which is great. And that Mercedes as well, such a very fast car. Now it can be quite tough in its tyres here, so that's going to be interesting in the race to see how they do get on. And looking down through the field now, 21 times in, which is great to see. Fastest sector 1 at 35.552, fastest sector 2 at 32.010, and the fastest sector 3 at 50.322. Not all by the same driver, so there definitely is a bit more pace out there, at least 2 tenths or more. Inside with him now, and he's absolutely giving it the socks down the straight there. Oh, that's nice to see as well. It's great to see drivers getting off the racing line, especially in qualifying, because you do not want to be ruining anybody's lap, because you want that favourite turn when you're on your hot lap, especially with such a busy track with 30 drivers. And that lap is now unfortunately gone. He'll go back to the pits and rework things, possibly change tyres, maybe drop a bit of fuel load and go another go. But there still is 10 minutes left to go in this qualifying session, and we're almost Sebastian Pats here at the minute. I'm not going to get the name of that team because I don't speak that language, but I love the look of that car. It's absolutely beautiful looking. It's such an aggressive looking car. Mercedes, they've done amazing things with that. And so far, he is actually up a bit of time here as well, guys. Looking at the deltas, he is, well, as I say, he was up. He's going straight into the pits. He was up over 2 tenths. So it'll be interesting to see. So we're back on with the new pole sitter. Oh no, sorry, we're down a tenth now at Minton with Bentley. He's 1.2 seconds off, and looking at Minton there, he's up about 0.0708 of a second. So there still is time coming in for him, and hopefully he might get a tenth or two, which will get him up, possibly up to about a P7 if he can increase that. So let's see how he goes. That Bentley is just, you know, a little fact about this, it's actually one of the lightest cars in the game, but yet everyone calls it a boat as well because it's such a big looking car. But it's actually one of the lightest cars in the grid. Takes a lovely nice line around there, and he is looking like he's still up a bit of time, but he's lost a little bit of time there through that middle sector. Can he gain at and back now coming into this last phase of this lap? And yes, he can. He's up about a 10, so this is perfect. This is where he needs to be. He needs to ace these next few corners. I'm actually egging for him here now. Go on, Minton. Gets the shoe down. Unfortunately, got not as good of an exit as he did the previous lap, but he's still up nearly 2 tenths. And straight up into 9th spot. So fair play. Very, very good lap. And looking there at the times, Bernick is a 154.045. So that fastest lap is in pole position. It's just dropping down every single minute now at this stage. We will be getting into the 153s very, very soon. On now with Jontic. I don't know, Mr. Audi. And he's 0.842 off pole position at the minute. But looking on with him there at the minute, he's not going to be increasing his time this lap. I would say he's maybe doing 2 or 3 goes on one set of tyres and running a bit of fuel instead of some people trying to do a mad dash, doing 3 laps of fuel and hoping that the middle lap is the fast lap. This Audi here, I drove it messing around the other day, and the biggest issue with this car, and it's probably the only issue because it's an amazing car to drive, that traction control is just so aggressive. You nearly have to have the steering wheel straight before you actually just get the power on, otherwise it just dies. So fair play to him running that car, because it takes someone that has a lot of patience with throttle control and steering input to get the maximum out of this car. But he's doing a solid job out there. And P7 for now is not too bad, I'm sure. Hopefully he gets in a good hot lap and maybe increases a place or 2 as well. So it looks like at the minute nearly everyone's set a lap now. We only have, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars not set a lap yet. Jay Vermeulen, he's a South African driver if I remember right, from Eleanor if I remember. Quite a good guy, so great to see Eleanor being represented in other leagues as well. Looking here now, so let's see on this lap, will he be able to improve, because we're down to 6 minutes and 40 seconds. It's not a lot of time realistically now. That's just over 3 laps worth of time. And you have to remember there's also an in-lap and out-lap if you are only coming out of them pits as well. So realistically now you would want to get going to make sure you get at least 2 laps in, because if you mess up the first lap, you can always calm down and go for one more go at it. So anyone who's in the pits now would ideally want to be getting out onto the track and getting some laps in. Looking through the field at the minute, so Zontek is up about, or Jontek, I keep seeing the Z, he's up about nearly 0.2 of a second. So looking at that there, he could be looking at about 5th position. If they get a bit more time, you could be nearly looking at 4th position, or even 3rd, because it's actually that close. So at the minute, staying on with him, he's just over 0.2 now, so definitely getting down there. Is there much more time in this Audi? And you know what, this is a great lap that we're getting to spend the full lap on with him as well, because it goes to show just how patient and how smooth he is with his inputs as well. Look how nice he is in the steer, and these cars tend to have a little bit of understeer, but he keeps that car absolutely in his control, hits the apex perfect, runs nicely onto that curb on the exit. And now this is a corner with a much later apex than you would think to get the better exit out of the corner, and he has absolutely nailed it there. That is great driving. He's still up about 0.2 of a second, hasn't improved much more, but there's still a few corners to go. And as I say that, what a beautiful line through there. See, can he keep the time? And this is the main thing. You need to get that drive out of this corner on the top, and look at that. He's going to be up close to about 0.3 of a second here. And across the line and up into 5th spot there. So a great lap, absolutely great lap there by Jontek, and at least they can do a calm down lap if they want, or they can keep going. That's up to them. Looking else out there at the minute, Mix in 2nd place is up about 0.2 of a second there as well, so this could be going on for provisional pole here, and we're on board with him now. And look at this late apex again, absolutely lovely. These guys know exactly what they're at here. Very well seasoned drivers out on the track here tonight. That Mercedes is a thing of beauty as well. I do like that livery. And he's up quite a bit of time. This could be the lap that I was hoping for into the 153s. He's lost a bit of time on that exit, but I still think it's enough to jump onto pole and get into the 153s. Boom, there you go, guys. 153.912. An amazing lap there, and I'm sure very, very happy there is Mex. I'm sure there's maybe another lap in them as well. So having a look then as well, Torre Geza, I think it is in 4th position, just about 0.2 of a second at the minute on this lap as well. And this could throw him up into 3rd if he can make this go the whole way around. This is Porsche, absolutely lovely looking as well. Up about 2.5 here, and looking at that is definitely up into 2nd spot if they can make that cross that line. A bit more time though needs to be done. So we're back on now with the pole sitter, who looks like they're having a bit of a cool down lap. Indeed he is. I'll keep an eye here on these other bits as well. Torres is still up 3 and a bit tenths here, so he's definitely putting in a lot of time. Oh, runs a bit wide, which is going to cost him a little bit of time. Has indeed. And not by adding too major. He needs to go for the apex. He was very tempted to try an apex a bit too early there. Had to get out of a straight and up and then do a 2nd turn in. And unfortunately, that has actually lost him those 0.2 of a second. I don't think he's going to do enough to increase up into 3rd, but it's oh no, he probably will do enough to increase into 3rd spot, as he's after pulling a bit of time back there somehow. So there might be still a bit of time in the bag for this guy. As he goes cross line, that's definitely then up into 3rd position. Very comfortably, fair play. A lovely looking lap there as well. Looking back though, Zontek is up about 0.2, as well as Jay Hughes. Looking down through the grid as well, loads of people are improving. It's hard to know where to be looking here, but we're going to stay on here with Torres at the minute, as they are trying to improve again, because there's not much time to go. They will have time for one more lap if they have the fuel and have the life left in those tyres and temps down, but then again, temperature shouldn't be too much of an issue here tonight, with 10 degrees track temperature and 10 degrees air temperature as well. The track is still running fast, so it's not unoptimal. but is running fast. Looking at the gaps there now, so Jay Hughes is still up quite a bit of time, which should pull him back up into third position. Still quite a bit of time to make up. He wants to try to get second or pole though, because at present he is 0.593 off that pole position. He's given it everything, and he's time for one more lap as well. And that BMW as well, by the way, is one of the most stable and comfortable cars to drive out there. He won't be feeling too much pressure there, and that should surely be third again from fourth position. Oh, he lost a little bit of time on that exit there. I was really expecting that to be up into third position there. But as I say, he does have one more go at it, and at the minute is in the green, just as it looks like Kay Stulik in the Ferrari is giving up now on this, as it looks like Torregoza as well has given up there on that lap and is back into the pits as well. So this is crucial. You've got Krisnik in 11th spot as well, up nearly 0.3 of a second. And Krisnik there, that could be huge. Like 0.3 of a second here when you're looking there for the top 12, it's a second. So to be up that amount of time is going to push them up at least to 7th minimum. But they're still putting a little bit of time on that straight. They're about 0.287 up at the minute as they're going around. That NSX here is probably my favourite car to drive in the game. It's a bit loose, it's a bit wild, but it will reward you with such amazing pace, and it's absolutely amazing in wet conditions as well. You can really keep the TC low on that and let the rear do a bit of work as well. So I'm saying he's having great fun out there at the minute. So it's hard to know going through the corner exactly what the full-time delta is. They're still up a bit of time. It doesn't look like they're up as much time as we originally had going into it, but they're still going to improve. Can they gain much more time through the next two corners? This exit here is going to be crucial. Getting on that power early and just keeping it in a straight line, that's beautifully done. The only thing is he lost every bit of drive and he's not going to improve now. So it goes to show you get that last corner wrong and all the hard work through the whole lap goes in an instant, unfortunately. Now Dazuka is not going to be up anything. I'm just looking for anyone else out there. It pretty much looks like that's how qualifying is going to finish, although Bernick is the only person who can put a corn and mech spine, as he is on a lap 0.65 up, so not quite there yet for pole position. But as I'm saying that, the times are going up. And that's why he was giving it everything there, and unfortunately you could see the car destabilised mid-corner. The rear got a little bit loose, and that is the end of his attack for pole position. A Broker is the only other person out there on a lap, but at the same time they're not improving. That was an amazing qualifying, a 1:53.912 in such a cold Paul Ricard as well. Phenomenal lap in that Mercedes. Definitely suited to this track. Bernick in second place, an amazing lap. He did get in and unfortunately was on one that could have maybe contested for the pole there. And then Torregoza is in third position, 3.65 tenths off there. So the session's going to start now in 3 minutes, guys. So the drivers will get their breaks. The drivers will be able to... Radio check. They will be able to get their heads together, maybe get a sip of drink, get a comfort break, because for the next hour or so, it is going to be absolutely pedal to the metal, elbow to elbow, top-notch action here tonight in the ISDA. And it's the winter season of the first race as well of 2023 in Paul Ricard here, so it's going to be absolutely top-notch stuff. And it's a very technical track. A lot of people maybe don't give it the love that it needs on this game. I think it's a top track. And it's I actually prefer this the way this layout is over the Formula 1 layout as well. I find the Formula 1 layout, it's nice to have the little chicane on that straight, but I don't think it adds too much to the likes of the GTs. It possibly is an overtaking position, but I like to see the lap times being as fast as they can be. With the GT cars, it probably add on about an extra 6 or 7 seconds, which is not exactly needed for the guys. And just a fun fact about Paul Ricard, it was actually built in 1969 and actually held the French Grand Prix from, I think it was 1971 up until 2022, intermittently throughout the years. as well. So it's a very well established track in real life, and obviously holds every kind of races here, from like the GTs to LMP1 races, 12-hour endurances, Formula 1. Anything and everything has been on this track. And let me have a look here now, guys, as the guys are getting ready. What a beautiful looking grid. I'm just looking at all the liveries there. There's some phenomenal artwork out there. Be interesting to find out who has been doing all of those liveries. I don't know about you, but I'm really getting excited for this one. The track is at optimum condition, 12 degrees.
Radio check.
12 degrees temperature, 12 degrees track temperature as well. So it's going to be quite nice for the guys. The progression should be quite good on the track as well. So overheating tires shouldn't be too much of an issue now, because they'll go with race setups. They'll probably change strategy a little bit, change setups, and adjust for full fuel, unless they're willing to go with less fuel and maybe do a splash and dash. And the wind is actually non-existent out there as well, which is quite interesting. And the weather as well looks quite clear for the next 30 minutes, which is always nice for these guys. They can just focus on the race in hand and not have to worry about strategy too early on in the race. Let's do a rain dance and hope there maybe might be a bit of rain near the end. This is all the guys are getting ready now. The engines will be all started, and we're about to go into formation lap, which means it is going to be time for advert from our sponsors, SRP. So guys, here we are on the formation lap. On here with Team Minton at the minute in that Bentley. He's starting in 16th position, or 15th position, sorry, they're jumping around there. So it's going to be quite an interesting one. What can he do? That Bentley should be quite a good car, but he's up against an M4 ahead and an Aston Martin behind. The Aston Martin seems to be quite a good car as well. Very, very stable on the curbs as well, and is able to kind of, like the BMW, you can show that curves, it's going to eat it up with those big buck teeth and keep going through. So I'm going to just call him Waz, because I'm not going to get his name right, and I do apologise. And on with Mex here now. I'm sure they're just focusing on just thinking about their strategy. What are they going to do? Because Bernick is very, very close in pace, as are the few guys behind. Like, I think it was the top 12 less than a second covering them as well. So it's quite a nicely matched field, let's be honest about it. Anything can happen. Let's hope there's no casualties in turn one, because it's an easy corner to get a bit of a bottleneck and for cars to maybe have a little touch. So let's hope the guys tonight can get through nice and clean, because they are top rated drivers as well. We do expect this to be as elbow to elbow as you can get, because with fast drivers, for anyone who wouldn't be used to it, they'd be racing in millimeters. It's not like amateurs where you'd be getting feet at these cars going into a corner side by side. They should be able to take it together quite easy as well. Very close. And expecting good lap time. So the pole there was down into 153.9s. Don't expect that too much in the race. Possibly by the end of the race with lighter fuel, if there was a bit of life left, I'm sure, you know, with the IN for racing for an hour, that could possibly happen. We will find out obviously as this race progresses. And I'm going to do a top Prix 3 prediction, because I don't know the drivers. I'm absolutely neutral. I'm just going to pull these out of my hat and see how wrong I am after the race. So I'm actually going to go with Mex for the win. I think that Mercedes is just a little bit more safer than the Porsche in terms of just how wily the Porsche can get, because if that rear does go, it's a very, very tough car to keep hold of. I'm going to go... For some reason, I think Jay Hughes is going to get into second spot on the BMW. I just think it's quite a nice car overall. And then third spot, I'm going to give it to Bernick. Hopefully, they don't mind and don't get offended. I just do this in everything I commentate in. I like to give myself a bit of a laugh to see can I get anything right. And I normally don't, so don't worry. So they're slowing down now. Getting ready to go down to this last sector. And once they get onto that straight that Mercedes is going, you can see he's just kind of building up temperature in the brakes. And maybe on the rear tyres as well there. I'm liking the strategy. And the great thing about this as well, so anyone who watches ACC, and oh, look at that, he's just going to go, trying to build the gap, trying to gap it out. Waiting for that start now, has to stay at 70 kilometers an hour. Waiting for them to cross the line.
Green light, green light.
And we are away for the first race in the Winter Series here in the ISDA, with Mex leading Bernick into the first turn, although Bernick is getting a great drive in that Porsche, but Mex has the better line, but breaks way earlier than Bernick, and Bernick goes straight through. Wham bam, thank you ma'am, thank you for that position, he says, and out into the clean air he goes. The only thing is the toes should be quite okay here if he stays close enough, Mex. That Porsche is a little rocket in a straight line as well. So it's all about keeping a calm head here to start of the race. You don't win it for the first lap, it's about the full race distance. It's an hour of racing here. But the M4 after jumping up here, there's cars swapping places everywhere. Oh, there's a bit of a spin there with the Aston. Oh, there's a bit of a pile up with the Aston. But unfortunately, that has the, well, thankfully that's now being cleared, and the Aston just has to let the last car go through, and away he can go there now. Not moving at the minute. So back on here now, we are getting a replay of what's happened. Oh, so it was other cars ahead, and then that threw him around. Then what happens? This Aston here gets a tap from the rear, little love tap, and that is it. Oh, and that BMW as well got absolutely held up for a good few seconds there. That's not fun. It wasn't his fault. I actually feel kind of bad for him now, but these things happen in racing at the start when you're close to close with 30 cars. Oh, wow. That was a big bit of sideways action there from Jay Borrellas. I'm wondering what happened there. Did he carry too much carb and just lose it, or was it losing it with somebody else? Because it's such a fast corner there as well. But now we're on with Kristanek. Getting the name wrong, but I apologise. And the NSX is up into 9th place at the minute. And in fairness, only 0.2 of a second off the car ahead for Aralava. So looking at the statistics there at the minute, guys, so up 3 positions is Kristanek as well. So that's been a great first lap as well. 3 positions is definitely not an easy thing to be pulling in the first lap of a race with such a close match field. So fair play to them. And let's see what they can do there. At the minute now, their big trap with fastest was actually Rojovic as well at 285 kilometers an hour as well. So running a lot less error. So we're on with Pats here and Zone Tech. Oh, do y'all get through? Good. Coming around there now. It's looking nice. There's just a train of cars here at the minute. That audio, lovely screaming V10 engine, the V8 of the Ferrari behind, and that aggressive German Mercedes V8 from AMG. Thing of beauty. So the audio here is getting a great toe, and that Ferrari is also as well getting a double toe. And if they're going to go 3 wide here, oh wow. 3 wide, what? I don't know how they're after doing that, but that Ferrari, what an opportunistic move. 2 cars, 1 corner, runs a bit wide, keeps the shoe and keeps it together. That's fantastic there. Look, the Aston Martin going to go around the ice of the Mercedes as well behind them. What a two last corners that has been for that Ferrari of Mr. I think it's Zumtech. So let's see what's happening here now. Alvarado, I keep getting the names wrong here, is all over the back of that Porsche, but also Kristanek is all over him as well. Kristanek is definitely looking like they're trying to push by and has to go hard on the brakes there. Was caught out by the early braking of the Aston there, but done a great job to avoid any instance. At the minute, this is what I love, is the mix with all the cars trying to find a way by him, but racing smart. It's a long race. Know when to make the overtake, know when to attack, and maybe know when to hold back and maybe put the pressure on that way. At the minute though, He's not licking no leg. He hasn't cracked just yet. Oh, and as I say that, a little bit sideways, but he's held on to it. Using a lot of that curb there as well. Has kept that car running nicely there. So great job by our Lava so far as well. And looking at the gap there, he's doing a great job. Let's be fair about that. It's very, very, very tough here on this circuit. So it was about 0.8 of a second off the car ahead as well with Torrega. And we're on now at Minton. Oh, so Minton here has had a bit of a tough one. He's down in 22nd now, but he's kept going, and he is, at the minute, he's about 0.3 of a second off the car in front, so he's doing everything he can to try and get back up by the Aston Martin there of Mr. Zurich. I'm not going to be able to say that name right either. I do apologise, guys. I will butcher your names. At the minute there, see, the Aston Martin is quite quick in the straight line as well. I would be very surprised if the Bentley was able to get enough of a tow to get by, as we're back on now with Langdek in the Aston Martin. It looks like both is it Tadek and Roscovic right behind there as well, looking to get involved. So interesting stuff here. As Levi as well. So this is the thing, it's easy looking behind and thinking you're that close to somebody. Looking behind there, you've got 3 cars all over each other there, and the Porsche trying to do everything, ran too much of that curve there, and is now after letting the BMW boy there with such a bad exit then, having no speed being carried. But look, you live to fight another day. Oh, I thought he was going to go for that there. He's better off just being patient and waiting. The last thing you want to do is retaliate over an error you've made. You just need to let that error go and focus on the race ahead, and don't be overdriving to get involved in it. Warjak here though is doing a decent job in 17th, to be fair about it. So on now with Krisnik in that Honda. Oh, looking. I thought he was going to go around the inside. Oh, he looks like he's going to go for it anyway. He's got a good drive out there. It's a bit of a drag race. That Honda in a straight line is a little beast as well. Oh, look at this 3 wide, and very late in the brakes in the Porsche there. Goes Doyle, but has to back out of that because Krisnik does have the right to that position and that line. So that's very, very smart driving there by the guys. So well done to them. So Krisnik now is literally gone away, but look at Doyle now is under pressure from Pats and Landek. It's actually so close behind it. There's about maybe 1.5 seconds all the way down to Levi. Oh, look at the draft here, and this
is race control. All lap 1 incidents are under investigation. All lap 1 incidents are under investigation. Over.
As you heard there, there's going to be a lot of lap 1 incidents under investigation, so they're going to be quite busy there. As we're going to go 3 wide, whether it could work out here. Oh, so the Porsche has been able to tuck in with that Honda though. Still going to be a turn there. The Honda has to let out of it there. And it looked like, I was just looking at that, so the car behind then of the Mercedes of the Aero did actually get unstable there. He broke on to avoid what he was anticipating ahead, which looked like it could have been a collision, but the guys were smart about it, and then he was caught out with the braking, but lives to fight another day. As Warjak here is looking to fight around. Is a Mishk there, so Mishk is doing what they can at the minute. Position the car just right, but look at that BMW is just sitting there waiting to pounce. And the BMW can definitely take those curves better than that Porsche as well. So the exit here, the Porsche will be an absolute demon out of it, having great traction, but the BMW is sticking with him. So that's absolutely phenomenal driving by Warjak so far. Only 0.2 of a second off, and is pulling in 0.1. He's going to sit back and wait. He has that main straight. If he can stay that close. Oh, the Honda gets the braking wrong, but just enough to stop him hitting Warjak there. So Roshavec there, I'd say, was definitely getting quite worried as Mex here. Or sorry, as Algarve here. Sorry, I'm just looking at the wrong thing. Is after going to go for a move, but unfortunately has not stuck against Jontek. Or Jonjic. So these guys are battling quite hard, but also behind you have A. Doyle, you've got Pats, loads of people at the minute looking to get by. We're only 9 minutes nearly gone in this race, and there's been so much action. As we're on now with Krishnik, is he going to get the move done? It looks like there's going to be enough of a tow. Although he's after braking, I think a bit too early now, as the Aston is going to go side by side ahead. This is great to see. Alvari and Jonjic. I think Jonjic might be the favourite there with the inside line. No. So Krishnik here, still going around, gets a lovely line there, and it's coming right up there to Janjic. Janjic one's a little bit wider, but in fairness, that's a great driver from all these. I don't know how they're able to keep the concentration and keep going as easy as that. So he takes a bit of a different line on the last corner to try to get a better drive out of it. It looks like it's going to work here if he can keep it going. No, not yet. The Audi in the straight line is quite good. He is catching in a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough for this small main straight. They're going to have to be patient and wait. And even looking back to Warjak down in 16th position as well, getting very, very close there between Levi, Mishek and Warjak as well. And then looking back down further again, you've got Uvijic, who was close, but now is after just dropping off. Guys, at the minute, the whole field, it's so super close, as you can see in the screen there, the splits. This is great stuff. And because the cars are all probably running quite a bit less air than normal, trying to compensate for that long main straight, it's just really down to the line that the drivers are taking through it here. I think the overall car advantage might be a little bit at a stalemate here, because I would have expected the likes of the Mercedes and that to definitely be as fast, if not faster, than the likes of the Porsches, but here it doesn't seem it's the case. Pats is doing everything, and as we're looking at Pats, then Krishnik is going to go for the move here, and unfortunately has to give up with it. Oh no! As Stuldik has gone off, and is after dropping down at the 12th position so far. Oh, that's not what you want to see. So we're on board here. So what happens? Was it the curb? I would have assumed it was the curb that got him. Oh, he just got the stable on it. Oh. Heavy enough hit into that wall as well, so that would cause possibly a bit of damage there. Wonder how much time will be on that car. So we're back out now. Actually, he's ended up holding himself up into about 5th position there by the looks of it. My 17 is just reordering through the field, that's all. But do you know what? He lives to fight another day, which is also amazing, so fair play to him. So Static here is all the way on Levi now, but very fair driving. Levi's definitely giving him enough room, but runs himself a little bit wide at the minute. Oh, it looks like he's going to get overtook now. Nope. The Honda was definitely being smart about where he's going to go for that move, and you also then have Milchak behind Warjak. Oh, as the Porsche taps the rear of the BMW, just a little love tap, not enough to do any major damage. And so that Aston Martin there is after getting a great drive. So Levi's done a phenomenal job getting the exit right now, coming down that main straight, which is vitally important. And as we're talking about that, Mex and Hughes here. Mex is looking for any way around, and this is for 2nd place. 2 guys running wide. They are giving it everything out there at the minute. Beautiful looking cars as well. Unfortunately, in 2nd place, there is no livery uploaded for Hughes, but that black looking BMW is a thing of beauty as well. Very aggressive looking. And look at that, the way they're both ran a little bit wide for the apex there as well, so you can tell they're just overdriving and try and fight each other. But Mex there doing a great job. You can see swirling on the brakes there, trying to get the car slowed down enough to get that turn in. Mex goes for the apex a bit better, gets on the power maybe a little bit earlier. I don't think on this small straight it's going to make a massive difference there. I'm sure just by time when we put a bit of pressure on, surely it'll happen for him. Down into turn 1 and not a bother around for turn 2. You kind of take a little bit of the car, but not much. As you can see, it can destabilise that car as it goes over it as well. Oh, and look at this here now as well. You've got Tadek fighting for it with Levi. Did he get the move done this time around? No, he doesn't. So Levi's doing a great job of the position of his car. And you can see Tadek was going out. You could see Levi was maybe showing that he's going to attempt to do the turn in, and that's when he got out of it. But now look at this. Tadek is under pressure from Warjak here. Not enough pressure though, because Wojciech has to concede and give room. Great driving from these. This is a great showcase for what the ISDA is all about there. The guys know when to choose their battles. They don't go for dive bombs or silly moves. You know, they're real racers out there. They know exactly what they're up to as well. So this is great for the ISDA to be seeing drivers representing their community in such a high standard. And with Tadek here is going for Levi. But there definitely is a decent bit of toe here now, but is there enough toe to get that job done? The Austin in the straight line just seems to be super fast. And Levi's used the strength of this car. Absolutely perfect. Now the thing about it is Levi going to go for the defensive move? No. Both guys are a little bit unsure. They're trusting each other. The tiny bit of a touch by the looks of it there. Oh. And you see Wojciech there was looking to get by. Wojciech's going to go down the inside though. That's a great move there by Tadek to get by Levi. And now Wojciech is all over the back of Levi's. Tadek's after running a bit wide, so Levi has a slightly better line there. He's getting a little bit of time back, not much, but is under pressure now from Wojciech as well. And with this happening here as well, you do have Levi about 2.8 seconds off Broker then as well in that Porsche. So let's see, can Levi now in a bit of clear air start to pull in on that car as well? And you could nearly say straight away there it looks like he is, because in fairness Levi is now looking right behind him. He's more focused on that BMW going to try and make the move of Wojciech. I think he's kind of conceded that position ahead up in 12th position. It's very, very tough for a driver to accept that, but you need to do that. You need to see your battles there. But Wojciech now 0.1 of a second off is going to... Oh, I thought he was going to show the nose there. It looked like it was getting very tempting for him, but he's way more experienced than me on the track. That's why I'm in the comms booth tonight. And yeah, very, very calculated driving here so far. And we are literally gone nearly 17 minutes into this race, which has flown by. I don't think I've been able to take a proper breath yet. And we're on now with Van Rupen in 19th position, but he's very, very close to Berlato, I'm going to say. I'm probably getting it wrong anyway. I apologise for absolutely nothing, as Conor McGregor says. We're back on now with Chris Nick. And Chris Nick here looking to get that move done on... Oh, sorry, on Jean-Tech. As it looks like Pats as well is after going the inside of Jean-Tech. Whoa. Pats get the job done. I think Pats is going to have the job done. The only thing is he's leaving enough room there for the inside lunge. And the inside lunge is done. I think any driver would have done the same there. When that door is open, when the space is given and you know you've got the grip there. Yeah, that was a great driving for both of them. Very, very clever driving for Pats as well, not to over defend that corner as well. But yeah, so Krishnik is definitely on the up now and is definitely, once getting in clear air, is pulling away from everyone that he's overtook so far. Next up the road for Krishnik now is Alvari or Arlava. I'm going to get all these names wrong, so I do apologise. He's 3 seconds off, plenty of time to catch up there. Let's see what he can do. But at the minute, Pat here is actually... Oh! As Vermeulen's after dropping it in his Audi. Oh. Let's have a replay here of what's happened. Oh, the curb. Audi and the curb do not go. Oh, that was a heavy, heavy impact on the front of that car. I wondered how much time damage is on it, and is the steering after getting damaged there with that as well. That was a huge impact. Poor Vermeulen, but Vermeulen is going to keep it going. It doesn't look like he's having too much issue with steering inputs anyway, which is good. As we're on now with Mitrovic, and he's 0.3 of a second off Murphy 7 in that McLaren. So the McLaren is a car I really do like. It's probably not raced as much on tracks as I'd like to see. I love the fact that there's someone out there giving it a go tonight. But then behind them you've got Dazuka with, he's only about 0.4 of a second off the Aston ahead of Mitrovic. And then the Mercedes behind as well. Interesting stuff. Aston Martin is very old school looking as well. I do like it. He's on the defensive line there, but there's no stopping. That is the Lexus of the Zuka gone straight by. And the Lexus is another car that's actually quite a nice car to drive, but just wouldn't be as fast as the likes of the M4 overall pace. But such a nice car. I love the fact that there is guys giving the different cars to drive as well. As we are now coming up on the 20-minute marker, guys. Can you believe that 20 minutes is gone already in this race? There's been so much action for just 20 minutes. It's phenomenal to see it. And it's right through the field as well here, which is always amazing to see. And looking at it now, Jay Hughes, though, is starting to have a bit of attack on Mex as well. He's only about half a second off. This is for second and third place as well. So half a second off. Looks like Mex hasn't pulled the advantage he's wanted to pull at the minute. But in fairness to them, they're still 5.2 seconds clear of Torregoza at the minute. So even though they're fighting quite hard with each other, you can see that gap there. It's quite a long gap. It won't be too long if you're stationary, though. The toe, it has worked a little bit, but not enough of a toe, because that Mercedes is just an absolute pig in a straight line. And look at this here, Pats and John Tick. Not what John Tick wants. Pats is definitely running faster. John Tick does have to concede that position. Great driving from Bo. I'd be so scared if I was in an Audi going over that curb there. You seen what happened from Ewan's Audi there as well. But definitely a bit of a wider line to come back in nicely. So Pat's took a really nice line through there. Got the apex, I think, just right. A late enough apex. Like most of these corners here, the long corners, it's not the typical kind of mid-corner apex and back out you go. You need to kind of be patient, let the car roll in, not too much throttle on. And all the guys are absolutely showcasing that here as well. As the Zuka here and Murphy look like they've traded positions. So the Zuka is starting to make some inroads now. He's 7.3 seconds off Marzik. I'm trying to get all the names right as I'm speaking. But great job there, and it's great to see the guys even in the backside of the field, they know it's racing. You know, a lot of people don't realise with sim racing, to people who aren't gamers, it just looks like grown men playing games. But this is real racing. Once you sit into your rig, doesn't matter whether it's a real car or not, this is competition. And these guys sweat. Absolutely sweat. After an hour, you'll be exhausted here racing hard. This is essentially like a sprint race in these GT cars. It's Warjek here and Mixic in 15th position are fighting away here at the minute, and they're not too far behind as well. You've got Levi, Stulik, Tadek. So still a bit of a train going on, in fairness. Anything can happen. And there's still quite a bit of time left for something to happen. But the Porsche here will surely have a better straight line than the BMW. The BMW is getting quite a nice toe there, as you see. And looking along with the rest of the guys there at the minute, just so you know as well, the fastest lap is a 154.230 by our race leader Bernick, who I sadly said won't win the racing, is having showcased some great speed at the minute. But that was a great move there by Studik with Levi. Levi's coming back at the inside. And away they go. It's a drive-through for Levi, by the way, guys, as well, which is never fun. And then Minton does have this 15-second penalty added on. So always good to keep an eye on those penalties as well, because they're going to play a vital part. And a drive-through here will cost in and around 26 seconds. So that's quite a lot of time to really be losing. So hopefully Levi gets that done soon, so at least then he can just focus on his race again. We're on here with Milskino, who's right behind Levi. And surely knows by now that there's a drive-through there, so doesn't have to overfight for this lap if they can get away with it. And just looking there as well, Jay Hughes only 0.1 of a second off Mix now.
This is race control. The following penalties apply for lap 1 incidents. Car number 15, drive-through. Car number 888, 15 seconds. Car number 98, 30 seconds. Car number 21, drive-through. Car number 99, 30 seconds. All penalties are for causing a collision. Over.
And there you have it, guys. All penalties there were for causing collisions. And it's great to see the live stewarding being put in place. I really do like this because it saves any arguments after the race. It is done and dusted. This is the most realistic kind of league that you'll ever get out there. Proper safety car waiting, all the live stewarding. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And this is why these guys are heads and shoulders above most other ones out there as well. On here now at Warjack, 16th position. Oh, running quite wide with the Porsche there of Mishk and gets straight by. Although Mishk now could try and come back down the inside, but it's not carrying enough momentum. We're both running a little bit wide on that curve, but it is what it is. They're both through. Fair play to them. So the pit window's open for 10 minutes here, guys. So you're going to see a load of people now probably trying to get in early, getting their pit stop out the way and back out. At the minute, not happening. As these are absolutely on it. And look at the drive there that Warjack got out of that corner, but that's why, because Mishk straight into the pits. So we have a few already in the pits there now at the minute since that's gone open. We have Levi in, we have Barretto, and then Landek, but I'm sure Levi will be taking his drive through, and Minton's going to be an extra 15 seconds on that pit stop there with that 15-second time penalty there. So it's going to be tough sitting there for 15 seconds. It's going to feel like a lifetime. As look at the race leader there, as comfortable as can be, absolutely on it. So we're going to go for a full on-board lap now with the leader, guys. So enjoy this. I'm going to shut my mouth and enjoy the absolute beauty of this car. Now, guys, what a lap. Absolutely great to see just what it's like on board with that Porsche there, and the way it just eats up those bumps and the way he just runs the curbs. That runs wide enough as well. Great driving there from Bernick, and that's the reason why he's 8.5 seconds clear, or 9.3 seconds nearly now of Max as well. So phenomenal stuff from him. And Max is still doing a great job because he's holding off Jay Hughes in that BMW as well. And that's relentless pressure there. And they're about a second nearly clear now. So very good stuff from these. And in fairness, I think at this stage, they're probably thinking of when to jump in, when to get that move done. As you see, there's John Tech, Mishek, I can't say that name, and Van Rooten all in the pits now at the minute. So you're seeing a lot of these other guys going into the pits. And for anyone who's new to ACC racing, beside the race number, you're going to see the manufacturer, and then on the other side, you're going to see the number 1 and all the drivers in the top 20. And see the green beside the drivers then from land deck down. That means they've done their pit stop, and everyone else is due to do their mandatory pit stop. And there is literally 5 minutes left of that pit window for them to do it. And if they miss that, then obviously there's going to be repercussions. You do not want to ruin your race. As Jean-Tech comes out there and you see his name gone green, which means he's carried out his pit stop. And I wouldn't like to be Lubra. They have a 30-second penalty, so they're going to be sitting stationary for 30 seconds before that car will be released as well. That is going to feel like an absolute age for any
this
single
is race
driver.
Control incident between cars 15 and 100 on the lap 5. Car number 15 gets a 5-second time penalty for dangerous driving. Over.
Wow, and so Levi's after getting a 5-second penalty there for dangerous driving. Not what you want. Every second counts in racing. That is quite tough, as looks like Hughes and Mex going into the pit, so that was definitely calculated. So the difference is here, who takes more fuel, who takes less fuel. So we'll keep an eye on this one here. So with only being tyre changes there, guys, he's actually back out. And he's coming down now, and away he goes in. Grand, as everyone is diving into the pits there. The race leader is yet to be in the pits. Pats is yet to go in. Broker is yet to go in. Tadek is yet to go in. Levi, Lubrick as well. And it looks like everyone else has pitted so far. Beautiful looking Honda there. And it's the most annoying thing ever if you don't get the pit box right as well. That could actually cost drivers a little bit of time. So while it is only tyre changes, it's how good you are getting in and out of those pits. As Mex is out there now. Oh! And Hughes is after jumping Mex in the pits. That could have been the difference from getting the engine on and getting out, or it could have been getting into the pit box there. Jay Hughes has got ahead of Mex. Unbelievable. Whoa, that's absolutely crazy. Mex, I'm sure, will be crazy to get back out and get those tyres up temperature properly and get the head going. And these guys are going to be running quite fast now as well. Fresh rubber on, half of the fuel gone. It's going to be absolutely... I think the fastest lap will be dropping down quite a bit. There's no other way of saying that. Like the fast lap is still the 154.230. I'm expecting possibly a 153 out of Bernick coming down to the end of this race, which would be equal quali time to what happened at quali. So Mex here at the minute, I'm sure not too happy, but he's only 0.9 of a second off. So it's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse there. And looking back though as well, there's the last few exits in the pits from behind. A few close battles back in about 14th, as well as 18th and 19th as well. And they're starting to kind of pull at each other now. So guys that maybe had a few time penalties as well and drive-throughs, this is their time to start coming back to the pack as well. So we're going to see a lot of action here in the next 26.5 minutes or so. As Sturek is coming all the way up on Morzek. Morzek places that BMW perfectly there. That Ferrari just definitely has a bit of pace in them there as well. So Lubra's gone into the pits. So the race leader is still not gone into the pits. We're still waiting on him to go into the pits. But we have Pats, Broker and D out there as well that are after going in to the pits. So literally is the race leader left to go into the pits now, which is crazy. So it'll have to be jumping in quite soon. That'll be something to keep an eye on. That's a race to the pits there. Leaving it so close. I don't think I'd be that brave. No, I know he has the
This
pace.
is race control. Car number 36 gets a 10-second time penalty for forcing car number 85 off track and gaining an advantage in lap 11, turn 3. Over.
Wow, and there you go, 10-second penalty for Landeck there for forcing the car off the track. Not what you want, as a race leader is now in the pits, and that is all the pits now done. This is now down to back to heavy racing again, as Mex is 0.5 a second off Jay Hughes, and who we're on with now as well. You've got Warjack, and he is literally super close there as well to Doyle, as Doyle runs extremely wide there. Oh, that would definitely look like that could be down for a track cut there, just because of how fast he ran, as he definitely didn't let off the throttle there. Fantastic job. But even back to Rojevec is only 0.2 of a second off behind, and 17th as well from Belerto. Unreal stuff here, and look at that toe. So Goran, I'm going to call him instead of a second in. So Goran there, down the inside there. Lovely jubbly as the Mercedes runs extremely wide. Goran there, that's a great move by Goran. Textbook. Down the inside, holds position. Keeps the fate in the Honda a little bit sideways on the exit. I do love the Honda for that. It's always quite fun with Warjack now as well. Attacking Doyle again. This time a lot closer. Let's see what Doyle can do here. So Warjack is after taking a bit of a tighter line to try and run a bit faster on exit, but unfortunately it hasn't worked from it, as Doyle and Broker are at an equal machinery. It's all down to setup and the nerve of the driver. So Broker at the minute doing enough to stay in front of Doyle. Doyle is absolutely sitting there waiting to go, as is Warjack now. So Warjack's going to pretend he's going to go for the move. I don't think he's going to have enough pace to do so. No, he's just showing the nose there. So Doyle is definitely aware that he's there, but also Doyle is trying to focus on the race ahead of Broker as well. Waiting to come around this long corner, and these long corners, the temperatures in the tyres going around there must be diabolical. They're screaming for the straight as well, because it's such a fast flowing corner. We're on now with Carlos Dultic, and we're 0.3 of a second off. What can we do? Although Doyle looks like he's going to go for a move as well soon enough on Broker. It's literally side by side. We're kind of getting to see a little bit of that. Oh, is he going to go? Oh, has to let off a little bit there. So Broker has lost that position to Doyle. I thought he was going to try to come back. Oh no, and he runs a little bit squirrely, and now that's Warjack in the inside, and looks like Gowan there as well. Oh, sorry, Stutic, I'm getting the names wrong here. I'm like Murray Walker, only not as good. And he runs a little bit wide in that Ferrari, which is not the ideal line when you're trying to race the guys ahead. We'll get the head down now. That move is done. So I do feel bad there for Broker, because in a few corners, 3 positions gone. But there's still a long race to go. It's a very peculiar line. There must be a back marker there. Has to be, yeah. Great driving though, to stay out of the racing line and not to be getting in the way of these guys racing away. So fair play. Beautiful looking Ferrari there. So Mex is getting close to Hughes again. He's 0.4 of a second off, but hopefully that'll develop into a race soon. As we're staying with Carlo for the minute, because right ahead, ooh, we're going to go over that though. Oh, I have to say the 2 behind done well not to hit the cars ahead. I think it's the easiest way of saying that there, because that could have been a huge incident involving the 3 of them. But Dennis there done a fantastic job on the brakes, and also then Zoriak behind there done a phenomenal job to get the Aston stopped in time from hitting the back of that Mercedes. The only thing is the Mercedes has lost the strength of that toe, while the Aston may have a bit of a better toe. There's a long enough straight. You probably won't see it to near the top end. That's really when you're going to notice the toe difference there with these cars. And even at that, I think they're all a bit too gapped for a major to happen. But then again, right driving. Oh, the NSX got a little bit squirrely there on the exit of that curb. Oh, runs quite wide there as well. Those tyres must be screaming. And even with the Mercedes there of Dennis does the right thing. That's a defensive line he took there. He blocked off any move for the inside because they all will naturally run wide on this corner to try hit the apex later. We done the right thing covering that off. So that's very, very smart driving there. And one with Thor now behind as well, who is getting quite close to this battle here as well. So you've got 4 cars extremely close together now, which is absolutely brilliant to see. And may I point out all different makes of car as well, which also makes it very interesting. So Dor in the Lexus, the last time we were on with Dor, he was in 25th position. So it just goes to show he has a bit of pace and is definitely coming back up through the field here now. That's a beautiful sound out of that engine, isn't it? That's a thing of beauty. Big dirty V8. The Mex is getting quite close. It's only 0.2 off fuse, 0.3 off fuse now at the minute for the battle for second and third place as well, which will be interesting to see in a minute as that evolves. At the minute, this 4-way battle for 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th is probably a bit too thrilling at the minute to get off because we're onto this main straight. And look at the toe here. That Lexus is about... Oh, that was scary. Great evasive driving there. That was definitely a bit of a scare. But he gets the move done and is trying to get up now across to Berlito. Oh, the front gets a bit unstable. He's going to run massively wide there. He keeps the shoe in. Oh, very close to the Aston, but has to let that position go. And that's what happens. You never want your car to get unbalanced like that and start getting squarely because it's such a fast corner. You need to kind of let off and let that speed die down a bit to stop it then snapping the other way. So he done the right thing, but very, very tough there after getting such a lovely toe and a lovely move done as well. Have to give that up and then go all over again. It's like a reset. But that is racing. It's never easy and it's all down to consistency as well as keeping the head. And that lovely exit there. Don't think he's going to get anything done on this small straight here. He can set himself up again for one of those great toes. That Lexus, obviously in a straight line, is an absolute beast of a machine today. On defensive line as well from Dor is Zurich. Dor, I think, is biding this time. I think Dor kind of has him sussed enough to know I'll get him on the straight once I'm sticking there with him. And guys, it's crazy to think over 40 minutes of racing and the track has only been raised up 1 degree, both ambient as well as the track. That's absolutely crazy. You would have expected a slight bit more progression within 40 minutes, but just goes to show you need to be on it at all times. So I'd say the tyres are probably, other than the drivers racing so hard doing different lines to try and defend and being creative, if you're out in the lead, the likes of like Bernick there and that, I'd say you're quite comfortable because you can just kind of drive your own pace. You're not attacking anyone else, so you can really baby those tyres while keeping the pace. And here we have to move again. This time, can he make it stick? Can he make the next corner stick and not get unbalanced? Keep the head. Once he does that, I think he should be away. Yes, he does. And even ahead of them, then the guys are fighting tooth and nail. And even better again now for Berlito. Not better for Berlito now because look at Doc. Gonna try to go around the outside. Doc's carrying great speed, but surely the Mercedes is going to get the better exit and cut across to the natural line. And does get the better exit, but I tell you one thing, that Lexus is on the move up. That is crazy. I'm sure Berlito now is thinking to himself, right, do I keep attacking the car ahead or do I have to start focusing on this car that's attacking me? At the minute, I think he has to focus on the car that's attacking him. It's great to see, even down in like 22nd, 23rd place, you've got Marduk and Levi fighting each other as well. Like everywhere you look on this track tonight, there is just heavy racing. But these four here, how they're keeping their heads and how they're keeping their composure. Oh, looked like there was going to be a bit of a dummy move done there. He's got out of it. Oh, what's happened there with Wojciech? As he cuts the corner. So we're on the replay here now. Oh, the Porsche. Oh, that is quite unlucky there. I was missed that with my eyes. Oh, that's tough luck for him there. And that's, luckily enough, it wasn't too much time lost, but very tough all the same. Look at Dor, though, is going to go for the move now. So Dor, Berlito, and Dor's getting a toe off the NSX as well. Dor could possibly go for two moves here, and it's looking like it with the pace he's carrying. Can Dor hold the inside and keep the composure? This will be an epic move if he keeps it going. And the shoe is in, and he's doing a great job there. He is ahead, and he's holding the inside line optimal. He can control the race a little bit. Oh, well done. He just needs to hold it for this part of the corner. Tyres will be screaming, wanting to be stopped, be pushed in so hard, and he's got that move done. What a job there by Dor. In 2 laps, or 2 and a bit laps, should I say, up 3 positions. Did I say that Lexus want to move up? I really meant it. Well done. That's what you call racing, guys. And Dennis there probably will not give this up without a fight as well. Dennis will want to be getting a go with that as well. Wow. What a move. I'm just amazed by how good that was. You want to know why you should race in ISDA? You just seen it. That alone. The composure. Doesn't matter whether they're fighting for the lower end, mid end of the grid. The fighting is clean, it's hard, and it's fair. Verito here doing their best on it. At the minute now, after dropping off a bit, the closest battle it looks like on track though is for 2nd and 3rd at present at 0.4 of a second. Look at this. So Mex is doing everything he can to get back by into 2nd position, but Jay Hughes now, after that phenomenal pit stop, obviously got something was slightly more right in them pits, whether it was pit entry, whether it was, you know, breaking into the pit box, whatever it was just enough to pull him out ahead. So you're talking he gained a net about 1.5 seconds to get that move done and get out like comfortably in front. So Mex is really having to put the work in that Mercedes now. But as we're saying that as well, you know, it's down to the last 13 minutes of the race. At some stage, he's going to have to stop trying to apply pressure and literally just go for the move. He's going to have to build something up and just kind of dedicate himself to making the move done. Or because it's the first race of this series, he could think, do you know what, a podium isn't the worst position, whether it's 2nd or 3rd. You know, if he doesn't get close enough by maybe 3 minutes to go, he might just kind of hold position a bit. No point fighting over too much, and then if they do come together then that close to the end, it just won't be worth it. As we're looking at Brooker here, and Brooker absolutely fighting with Wojciech like there's no tomorrow. These guys are at it again. So Wojciech's been having a definitely eventful race, and these two had already one come together already. So let's see what happens now and evolves with this race, as they are literally at it. But Mex and Hughes are literally 0.00. I think they're getting ready for a bit of an overtake. As I say, that Mex has dropped off a bit. So Brooker here is doing all he can. Now Brooker could get a decent tow here. Depends how well his exit is and how much speed he carries through this apex here. Because you get these corners wrong, it's going to hold you back the whole way down that straight and lose you so much time from start to finish on that straight if you get the exit wrong. So at the minute here, looking at this though, Wojciech is actually, after getting it wrong compared to Brooker, Brooker is pulling away. So it just goes to show you, if you can carry the speed through, it will help you. So Brooker definitely very happy with that there to get that job done. And at least that way now he can get a little bit of breather. and maybe focus maybe on figuring out a way in the next 10 minutes and about 45 seconds to get some sort of work done, as we're on with Stulik here as well. So Stulik and Doyle fighting away nicely for the last position of top 10. Now with that though, you're looking there's a 10-second penalty for Landek as well, so to be fair, realistically both of these will be in the top 10 looking at the time difference at present. So we'll take... Oh, both of them cars are very bouncy on that little curve down that straight. I don't know if I'd be too happy running that wide. I know you might need it for the corner entry. Takes a slightly tighter line around there as well. So it's good to see the slight differences in the track lines. As it looks like Berlito and Radovic are really at their side-by-side. Is Berlito going to get that move done? Not just yet. Oh, Dennis has been trying, and it looks like he might get it done this side, though, has the inside line. Look at this. Where else would you see this? Goran is literally fighting away with him. But it does look like now Berlito has got that move. There's no giving up on that NSX though. Close enough to get a decent
race control. Car number 130 gets 20-second time penalty for causing a collision with car 689 on lap 23. Over.
So guys, you've heard that there. Brooker has now got himself quite the hefty time penalty there for that incident with Warzek, which we got a replay live on a few laps ago on the entrance coming onto the back straight there. So very unlucky, but you know, these things happen. I'm sure he was waiting for something to come in. I think it's a fair enough penalty. The punishment fits the crime there, and I'm sure they will understand that. Jay Van Rooten in that Mercedes up in 20 position, coming along to looks like a bit of a choo-choo train here. As now he's right on the back now of Zorik, Rakshik and Berlito. And I'm probably making them sound Italian because I'm trying to say names that are not of my native tongue. That Mercedes actually really nice looking in that pink as well. Guys, it's hard to believe only 8 minutes left now. This race, just I wanted to go on for an extra half an hour. It's just that good. And I have a feeling soon enough Mex will be going for a move. Whether it works out or not, we'll find out. So Van Rooten still driving quite strong, but at the minute still has a bit to do to catch right up to get a proper tow for an attack to happen. Doing everything in their power anyway, which is great to see. And literally at the minute about 1.3 seconds covers these guys, which is absolutely crazy. And this has been all race long, guys. We've had nothing but close battles like this all race long. Where else would you find this? And you've got Kay Zultik as well attacking Doyle only about a second off, or 0.1 of a second off, and we're on with it now. Both running very wide. These two guys are not giving each other an inch there. Ferrari much later on the race, but also being able to carry a bit more speed. It looks with the Porsche there, gets a bit unstable at the rear with the braking. Let's see what happens here. Oh, I just seen it coming. But I think that's all fair. No time lost properly and no positions gained. I think that may be seen by the stewards of the racing incident, if it is even looked at by them. But yeah, this is hard racing now, and this is down to the business side of things. We're going to have elbows out. We're going to see a little bit of cars touching. That's part of it. Van Rooten though is getting closer to Zorik, so Jasper is doing everything in his power. Takes a nice line through there, nice and clean. So to me, it's looked like he's trying to go. He needs to let that car run a little bit wider to carry more speed out of that corner. I think he needs to, when he gets on that power earlier, let the car run a bit wider, less steering input, and just let that speed develop up, and that'll help him get that little bit closer. So at the minute, that may be what's impeding him out of that last turn on the main straight. As we're down now to under 6 minutes to go, guys. unbelievable. And you've got Broker 0.2 of a second off Tadek. You've next 0.3 of a second off Hughes. It's hard to know, and even though Broker won't be getting the 12th position, if he does get it done, this is more for pride now at this stage. Get the move done on track. You know you're going to have that 20-second penalty, but you'd rather fight and try and get that move done. I love that racing spirit. Oh, nicely done. And that's lovely as well, the way the NSX pulls straight in behind him as well. Try and get a bit of a toe to get back up there. Very clever driving. As Berlito's going to go for the move as well. He's got the move done. And the NSX didn't tuck in like the other NSX there. So it goes to show the different drivers and different ideas of what they need to do. But Berlito's finally got that job done. So I'd be very shocked if he does catch up now with the Lexus ahead, as he's 5 seconds off now, which I definitely don't think is enough time within 5 minutes. But stranger things have happened with racing, guys. And just an update there as well, looking at the fastest lap there from Bernick, a 1:53.835. That is faster than the qualifying time. So this goes to show you these guys have super pace, no special setups. These are the race setups, and he's absolutely killing it out there. Fastest sector 1 though is from MX, so that was a 31.402. Fastest middle sector was actually done by D in that Lexus at 31.782, and fastest sector 3 was by our fastest lap holder himself of 50.182. As Warjack here is getting so close to Tadek. What can he do? 0.3 of a second off him. Can he get a good toe up? It looks like he got a lovely drive out there, and that's definitely what he wants. That's the difference of getting a good drive out of there immediately up beside. And now it's a drag this side by side. To be honest with you, he might try and hold the inside line. If I was him, I'd be moving that car slightly to the right on the defensive, because that NSX will be getting a nice toe there and is kind of bump drafting, waiting for that time to go, and this is the time for him to go. Now the only thing is Warjack, I know, is not going to give up. He's going to try and take that corner side by side, and he does. He's taking it a little bit wider and is held on by going that bit wider, carry that bit more speed. He really wants that position, and he's making 13th position literally his now at the minute, although Tadek though is coming back as Warjack goes a bit sideways. Great job to hold that, and great job there not to be going into Tadek there. So back to square one for Warjack after that great lap. So let's see, can he develop it again, and can he find another chink in the next 2.5 minutes or so, as it goes under 3 minutes to go. And at the minute he is looking like he's getting much better drives out of some of these corners. I know the NSX though can be a bit sideways, and it might look like it's going too sideways. Got a great drive out there as well. And essentially there's about 2 laps left for these to get the job done. And looking behind, there's still some very tight gaps the whole way down the grid here. This is just so good, man. I hope everyone that's watching this is enjoying this, and anyone who watches this race back after really appreciates the action and the show that all of these drivers are putting here tonight, representing International Sim Drivers Association. Absolutely amazing, and a great showcase of Paul Ricard as well. An amazing racing circuit. So what can Warjack do? Oh, he doesn't have the drive that he did last time round. Tadek's learned to maybe be a little bit braver, although Warjack will have a long toe, but I don't think it's going to be enough by the end of this straight to be warranting an attack. So you hear there, the leader is on the final lap now. So these guys do have one more lap of a battle to see what can happen. Warjack is going to try everything in his power. If I was him, I'd be flashing the lights. I'd be doing every tactic under the book to try and just make them drop that. He's going for it here. He's not driving like Mr. Ace. He looks like he's after getting it done, as Tadek runs very wide in the NSX. Will come out of that corner a bit faster, but has lost himself a few tenths there. And Warjack says thank you so much, and then runs wide, gifting it straight back, which is not good at all. Tadek's going to have the inside line, but he's gone by him anyway. These guys are just swapping it corner to corner here at the minute. They've only one lap left to get this done, as the race leader is already on the last lap. Bernick has dominated tonight. That's all I can say is domination from the race start. Got a great race start. But what can these guys do? This is for 14th to 13th position. Wow. 0.6 of a second in it now. And look at this, Mex and Hughes have been at each other all day long. This is Mex's last attempt to get anything done, but Hughes has parked that BMW so perfectly there. And Mex is trying everything. I just don't see him doing it. But Mex has a much nicer line here to carry speed out of the corner, but I don't think it'll be enough there. Hughes is far ahead enough and takes such a defensive line there. Mex to come back maybe with a little bit of a faster exit. But sure, Hughes there has covered that off nicely. Hughes just needs to cover for one more bit. As Bernick here, Romano Bernick crossing the race line to another domination of a win there. At least 14.5 seconds clear of the guys behind, as you've got Junior Hughes now. A well-deserved second place, and I'm sure he is sweating, as we have MX then in third also. So Maggetta, Mex and Robert Alvari coming home in 5th position. But look at this though, Wojciech is not giving up yet. Wojciech and Tadek here. Wojciech has the racing line. Oh, Tadek's going to try to come back. Wojciech needs to go on the defensive here. And he is. Great driving by Wojciech. Just, placed that car perfectly. Oh, what a move. He just needs to keep the composure now for the next two corners. Hold that inside line. Oh, as the Kuzi is after getting huge damage, but it looks like Minton is in the pits. It's down with Wojciech. Oh, look at this though. Oh, Tadek gonna go for it. That's gonna be a drag race, but Tadek could be losing out there. Ooh-wee. What a move. What a move. That was great driving. Super close from them at the end. And D looking to get involved there as well. And Jay Van Ruten coming up behind Zorik. Great job, as Levi with the time penalty now down into 21st position. Then we have El Lubera, who is coming around there now as well to finish up. And I think that's pretty much all of the cars in. And I'm fairly sure now it is time to mention our sponsors, SRP. We'll run our 30-second video on that now, guys. Was a good race though, in fairness. Perfecto, and welcome back, guys. Now, just even trying to deconstruct this race, we're on the highlights here. That was probably one of the greatest races I've seen in Assetto Corsa Competizione, and I've been commentating on esports racing for 3 years plus at this stage now. So for me, my voice, it's not as rested as it normally would be over an hour or two, but you know, it's phenomenal stuff to see there. Such a big grid, and to be able to get through no major incidents. There was one or two incidents that naturally happened, but nothing that was too horrendous. So very well done to every single driver out there for that, because that is no mean feat. Let that be said. So let me have a look here now, guys. As I'm going to be expecting hopefully a few drivers to be jumping in to be ready for an interview. The top 3 all going well as well. As I want to deconstruct this race. And I absolutely got my predictions wrong as well, guys. Unfortunately, I'm definitely not a magician. But Bernick there, just a phenomenal display. Jay Hughes and Mex going to show what it's like to fight a whole race and not give up. And then for leaving Warjack there for that battle back through and to get Tadek and to make that stick as well. Tadek being very, very opportunistic in the last corner. Unfortunately, carried way too much speed and had to get on the brakes. Otherwise, he would have hit Warjack. Done the right thing by preventing an incident, but also cost him nearly 13th position as they was there 0.122 behind at that line. So super, super close. Yeah, just absolutely great stuff. And I'm sure this has whetted your appetites for what is ahead in this season. It's just going to be heavy wheel-to-wheel action. And who knows next week? We don't even know who's going to be in pole. We don't know none of that. That script is yet to be written. But the script tonight was written, and Bernick has, won by 14.204 seconds, which is very, very strong. And I'm sure they're very, very proud there of that as well, because it's no mean feat to be able to do that and keep that consistency, that level of pace up as well. Yeah, absolutely unbelievable. And unfortunately for the safety car, they got to just to sit in the pits and enjoy the race from the pits. For them, very uneventful. Also, that's good for us because it was just nothing but great race, and we're looking at a few overtakes going on here now. Oh wow! So his game crashed a few corners before the finish line. That is that's heart wrenching, especially after driving so good for the whole race to get there, for that to happen. That is very, very tough. I feel bad for him now. I do feel bad for him. These things, technical issues, are a part sometimes of esports, regardless of how well established the game is or not. That's very, very tough. But yeah, looking at the overtakes here, you've got Levi, Tadek here as well. Tadek had actually a great race. It was very much involved in a lot of action. I'm sure they're delighted with that there as well. As I think he goes to get the move done soon enough here now. As we're on now with Gordon and Rozkovic and Studek. For lap 8, this was a move. Beautifully done there. And the braveness, I think, to be able to hold the car going around that corner as well. Because getting a move done is one thing, but keeping your head on the corner ahead as well, and especially here, it made us look like... Excellent. So we're going to have Mally coming in, our race director, for an interview now. So welcome along, Mally.
Good evening from this stream tonight.
You have been quite busy.
Well, in fact, not as much as we expected, and not as much as we're used to in first races of the season, I have to say. Apart from lap 1, few isolated incidents, quite a quiet evening up there in the race control.
Well, I tell you one thing, you got most of the calls spot on, I have to say. And from your point of view, as you're saying, you expected more. I definitely don't think you would have been bored watching this race, because it was absolutely just heart and mouth action the whole way throughout the whole grid, which is amazing to see.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the most tense races to watch, and yet alone, it was so clean in the end. Well done to everyone, well done to the drivers, and I hope you like the show as well.
Oh, absolutely loved it. That's what I was only saying it in the stream. My voice was actually, by the end of the race, sore. I've done like 3.5 hour, 4 hour endurance races. My voice wouldn't be half as sore. I was just talking. There was just so much happening all the time. Like, all the time. It was great.
Yeah, it got really, really intense on track.
Oh, definitely. Like, at one stage, I was looking at the race control on myself just to look at timings, and at one stage, we had 10 cars all within half a second battling on the track. Absolutely. All over the field. It was just unreal. And like looking at all the overtakes here and the replays at the minute, there's just some great stuff out there. So from you, how proud are you to see all these drivers out here representing the ISDA in such a high level?
I have to say very proud because I think they got the message of live stewarding really well.
Yeah.
That we're not that we're pushing for high quality racing, which does not mean backing off and letting everyone go through, but first of all, very respectful racing. But still, it's racing, so it gets tense, and it's great to see people fighting all over the place for dozens of laps and going out without a single scratch. So kudos to everyone that, as you said, represented ISDA in a very good manner tonight.
They really did, and what I liked as well was back markers getting out of the way during the race, but also in qualifying, guys staying off the race line, not impeding anyone. You'd be surprised how many streams I've watched where drivers don't do that. Luckily enough, the leagues that I've done comms on myself have the same as you, where drivers are very aware of their surroundings and what's going on. Especially in qualifying, it's a big thing. In the race as well, you don't really have to move out of the way under GT rules, but it's great to see the guys just doing it, getting out of the way and letting the guys race the way it should be.
Yeah, well, just to correct you here, our rule book says that you still have to move out of the way unless it's a multi-class race. Then, of course, the slower class does not have to move out of the way. But since this is a single class race, then regular blue flags apply, like you would see, let's say, in Formula One or some other top tier racing categories.
Yeah, I know the British GTs, I don't think you have to move out of the way. I think that's what it is that I'm thinking of them, where they actually don't have to move out of the way.
That's a fun fact I learned tonight.
Yeah, which is crazy. But it's good to see then. Obviously, the Formula One flag does apply down with this one, but it's great to see that the guys are aware. You know, they're not waiting until like a few corners in to do it. You just get out of the way there and then. But the respect for racing as well. One thing I did notice is the IQ of some of the drivers for racecraft has been good. Like there's a few times where maybe a driver who is new enough might see a gap that, you know, an established race driver knows, right, the natural racing is going to cut across that gap. I'm going to hold position. I'm going to wait a little bit off the throttle a bit and wait for another day. Well, you'd normally expect kind of the more amateur side of it to jump at that. So it's great for guys who maybe are looking at getting into racecraft to see the IQ of some of the drivers out there, the way they waited their time to get the move done. They didn't just go for it because they seen a little gap opening. They waited, they took their time, and they developed the move to be done, and it was just phenomenal to watch.
Yeah, indeed. What a great start to the season. I would have to say this is maybe one of the best starts of the season that we ever had. This is our, I think, 6th or 7th GT3 season. And
Brilliant.
when we count in other in-between seasons that we did with GT4s, with Porsche Cups, I think we are around 15 seasons so far. And
Wow.
honestly, tonight was a really good opening.
Are we able to move next week's race to maybe 10 minutes time? Because honestly, that was just such a good race. I wouldn't mind doing another race already. That was very encouraging. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to the second race now already. If that's on to go, boy, anyone who gets to watch that isn't even a part of the ISDA, get involved, join their Discord. I'm sure they'll set you all up as well. Don't be afraid to come along.
Yep. Please come along. We have a good community over here. We are accepting drivers still, although maybe in a reserve role. It depends on the fill, on how much the grid is filled. It's been a long day.
It's okay, trust me.
Yeah, you guys have the invite links in the description of the stream, so I highly encourage you to join, say hello, and see you maybe on track. We also have one-off events, usually on weekends or in off seasons. So why not come and say hi?
Absolutely, and I can promise I'll get their name wrong as well as an extra bonus.
Yeah, I would have to say I'm sorry I could not listen to the stream because of the race control duties, but basically we have a lot of drivers that come from outside of UK, outside of Germany, outside of Spain. Those big European countries. So we have a huge part of the grid comes from Croatia.
Nice.
Big greetings to the Croatian guys, and I know because we have similar surnames, so I know that they can be tongue breakers. So
when you're talking to an Irish guy that's from the countryside,
yeah, I would say It should have been a baptism of fire for you. I will have to check it in the replay.
I just made up names, I think, at one stage.
Beautiful.
Names. But look, it's part of the charm, sure, why not? Well, I'm going to give them all proper names as I get to know them. I'll give them proper nicknames, and that's what they'll go with.
Yes.
Because, well, let's just be honest, that's going to be impossible to try and remember all of them. But their names aside, they put on such an amazing show for me. Like, it's very rare I'd come into comms on a new league for myself and to be that excited the whole way through. It's been absolutely, honestly, it's a standout race for me to commentate on. As one of my probably top 3 that I've ever done. I've done long endurances involved in that, but genuinely such a good race tonight. The guys should be really proud of what they've done.
Yeah, and let's hope that the next one that we do will also be up there in the top 3.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. Get them all full to do with them.
Yeah.
But no, they've been absolutely amazing. Are we able to get the top 3 drivers in, guys? Or is that possible?
Well, that depends highly on our drivers. We tried motivating them, but maybe they are too tired to join tonight, which is a shame. I don't know. Usually drivers come in and say hi, but
I think I offended them by saying their names wrong.
I hope not. I hope not.
Probably heard.
I truly hope not.
I was dying to open a bottle of champagne with the guys, and celebrate.
Well, now they know what they can expect next time.
Absolutely. But no, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. And so, just I suppose while we're on the stream, for anyone who might come into this new, as it is a new winter series as well, I suppose what's your main aim with ISDA for a lot of drivers coming in, even amateur drivers? What is your main aim of this league? What's this league's kind of what's this league's motto? What's its culture? What is out for all elite drivers? Do you help motivate slower drivers, and what else do you do?
Yeah, so we're open to all level of talents. As you can see, the grid is the grid was actually really tight tonight.
Yeah, it actually was.
We have aliens. We have some not so alienish drivers, but we're open to everyone. Our motto is basically created by sim racers for sim racers. So in core of this place are sim racers that like to have high quality racing, as I said before. So respectful racing, but fierce competition. So this is what we highly encourage. And this is what we are able to maintain thanks to our stewards that are here every Thursday, thanks to our drivers who understand the name of the game. And, thanks to you guys who are streaming tonight, who are watching tonight, and who will be following us on social media. We're here to bring high-quality racing.
100%. Well, I tell you one thing, if tonight's starting to go by, you'll have a load of sign-ups when they watch it. That was phenomenal. It really was. And for me, it's a genuine pleasure to be commentating on such high-class racing as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the next race already, being absolutely honest.
Absolutely. Me too.
It's going to be good fun. And definitely to the guys that don't know as well, we've got, now I'm going to get his name wrong, Yannick. Is it Yanks or Yannick? You might as well let us know, because I can't say that name.
It's Yankas.
Yankas has been doing all the broadcast. He is wanting to be hearing, and has been a phenomenal broadcaster as well. So I just want to give him a big, massive shout out as well, because it's never an easy job doing a broadcast, getting all the battles out there. He's done a superb job, is probably the best way of saying it. I was going to say a bad language word, but I'll keep it clean. But he's done a phenomenal job with what he's done on the track, keeping the battles always on action. And it doesn't always have to be the top 10, because at the end of the day, we are all here to watch hard racing, and he's done a great job. So pat off on the back to him as well. No one gets to probably hear him or see him in the background doing what he does, because it's an awful lot of work to keep an eye on that as well. So well done.
Well done to him as well. Yeah. The co-founder of ISDA as well.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Us two, we started the journey together.
Oh, I could have given him a hard time then. Next race. Next race,
yeah. There's always 100%. Next race.
Always, and that's the main thing. But is there anything else then that you'd like to let the guys know then about the upcoming season ahead before, I suppose, we go to the end of the broadcast?
Well, we don't have an upcoming season yet, so we have this one. Well, we already started, so it's 7 weeks of this. We're open to signups mid-season as well. And yeah, for future seasons, give us a follow on social media, join our Discord, and then we have things in plan for the whole year, in fact, but we didn't yet announce anything.
Okay, so I'm going to work on trying to bribe you then in the background to see can I get any more information about these future plans and maybe do a bit of a drops, hopefully, in one of the races. Give them a little sneak peek of the future ahead. But yeah, guys, to all the people who've been watching this from start to finish and people who get to watch it after, thank you so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure to be able to come and have you watching with us tonight. But my God, ISDA and all the drivers have not let you down. That was an amazing race. And for myself, thank you so much again. And I hope you all have a great evening, guys.